What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing it to you like we do each and every week. We got the Strokes Gain show. I'm here with my two guys. We got Snyder, we got Locks. Locks, 1 second. I got to bring my guy Snyder in because Chiefs Kingdom undefeated when Snyder watches this game over at AP's house. Snyder, floor is yours, my man. How is it going today?
Oh, it's going pretty good, man. Fun time there Sunday over at your mansion. It was a good time there.
Mansion? No. It's a very conservative household.
Yeah, we rooted them in. Looking forward to this week. My guy Morikawa was right up near the top of the leaderboard at basically no ownership again, so you love to see that. Looking to break down this kind of weak event this week, but I think we've got some gems to uncover here in this event.
I gotta say, Snyder might be the most. We got two of the most disciplined guys here with us tonight. But Snyder, I mean, I literally probably deleted like 15 to 20 drinks, and each time I went to get more, I asked Snyder if he wanted one, and there he was with his jug of water and doing hard 75 right now, which is like super tough. No booze. You got to work out twice a day, one outside, one inside. He's getting ready for Mangone, getting ready for the battle. He's bringing it. It's gonna be a ton of fun. So yeah, props to you, Snyder. Good stuff all around. Locks, let's bring you in, my man. How's it going? How was your weekend? How was PGA last week?
Yeah, PGA last week wasn't too great, but hey, we're doing good. Obviously ready for another week here. We kind of got another dumb tournament this week. Sorry if you guys hear my kids in the background. I got them 3 and a 1-year-old. So if you hear them squeak.
Locks needs a fucking award already. I mean, this is a hero, man of the people. He's managing the kids and he's helping us pick golf winners. Are you kidding me, Locks? Like, dude, the mojo is as high as you could possibly get.
So I'm trying. We'll dive through this week. Obviously, might have some kids interrupt. He likes seeing the screen. So if he pops in to say, hey, maybe he's got a winning pick for me and my 3-year-old, we'll see. But yeah, ready to dive in. We got another pro-am here. Interesting to see. So let's dive in.
So I got to bring, I know this is a golf show, but we did the bet show earlier, me, Tyler, spread, and we're talking through this Hornets-Bucks game, and we found this bet. It was LaMelo Ball triple-double and win 80-1 that Tyler found. And now look, it's 27-34. I mean, that's a big hill to climb for the Hornets, but LaMelo Ball, 10-4-6, right out of the gate. He's on pace, so that could be a fun night there. But let's dive in, guys. So this is kind of the last bad event, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's a pro-am. We're rotating courses, just like last week. I went a little lighter last week, mainly because we had the conference championships. There's a lot of good NBA slates that I was looking at. And just full transparency, it was like the first time I hadn't MME'd in quite some time, but I'm going to be back in the saddle this week for sure. We got the Pebble Beach AT&T Pro-Am. Snyder, talk to us about the courses here because we have another course rotation. Talk to us about how that's going to work.
Yeah, they're going to be here at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We've got another long 3 days here ahead of these guys. They're going to be seeing like 6-hour rounds again, so it takes a special type of player to be able to deal with all that. There's going to be a 3-course rotation here. All are going to be featuring POA greens here. We got Pebble Beach, Monterey, the short course at Monterey, and then Spyglass are going to be the 3 courses that everybody plays. Everybody gets 1 round at each before the cut is made after their completion of Saturday's round. So everybody's going to get 3 rounds to play, and then they're going to move over to Pebble on Sunday. Pebble Beach is going to play just under 7,000 yards, par 72, has some of the small screens on tour at only 3,500 square feet on average. And the greens are going to be rolling at around 10.5 there on the stint meter. Pebble is also one of the most exposed to some possible windy conditions here of the 3 tracks in play here. So that's something to take into consideration too. We could see some possible weather. We'll get more into that though as the days go, and more so in the Discord chat and on the premium show. So make sure to tune into the premium show over on the Rumpier Sports side. Spyglass is going to be a par 72, measuring just over 7,000 yards. The greens are going to be around 5,000 square feet here and rolling around 10.5 on the stint meter. And then this is going to be the toughest course that's been played on these for the last 3 to 5 years. The Spyglass plays right around over par usually, so that's going to be the tougher one of these three. And then finally, Monterey, the shore course, will play just under 7,000 yards. This has the biggest greens of the three courses here at around 6,000 square feet, and they're going to be rolling faster here at around 12 on the Centimeter. This course also has the most holes with water in play here with 5 as a creek runs through the property. I'll be looking for the winning score to be around 19 under par, as we usually see something around that at this event. So I'm looking at 19 under. And this is another event where the wind could come into pretty big play. It could play a pretty big role here. So like I said, stay tuned to the Discord and the premium show as we get closer to lock here. Some key stats I'll be looking at: strokes gained approach, proximity, 100 to 125, tee to green, and around the green play here.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I got to talk up one thing. So RPS membership, if you're not a member, you should be. We have a couple codes going on. We have Snyder 15 or Locks 15. Whoever you like better. Let me remove this real quick. You might like Locks better. You might like Snyder better. But use one of their codes. It's going to get you 15% off over here at Rumpier Sports. And we're working on a lot of big things. You know, NFL obviously is slowing down right now. It's creating a lot of opportunities for us to make sure we have the best team over here, which I think we do. Also to have the best tools, the best everything. We're working on developing an app, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So if you like us, if you like winners, sign up. Again, use that code Snyder15 or Locks15, 15% off your membership over here at Rumpier Sports. If you don't want to sign up, if you want to be a little, I'm not going to say it, hit the like at least, hit the subscribe. That also helps us out quite a bit. So one thing we always talk about is kind of a recap, and we're going to spend more time on that when we really get into it, the main events in the season. Can we all just agree that, like, how freaking good is Max Homa? Like, can we just agree, like, this dude is good? He's especially good on the West Coast. That's my takeaway from last week. The guy is freaking good. Locks, Snyder, Locks, start with you. Any takeaways from last week?
Yeah, no, Max Homa is very good, definitely. But just as we've seen, kind of riding momentum. The guys that have played well to begin this year have obviously continued to do so. And just watching that is all I'm kind of seeing so far. So I'm just going to try to ride the guys that are hot at the moment. Some guys are struggling in certain areas. I'm going to stay away. And that's just kind of what I've seen so far to begin this year.
Yeah, I love that strategy. That's one that we really embrace over here. A lot of us do at Rumpier Sports. Snyder, any takeaways from last week?
Yeah, it was interesting to see John Rahm kind of be the one to choke away a semi-lead there on Sunday. Interesting. I mean, it was great to see Max Homa make a charge there. I think he shot 6 or 7 under there on Sunday to kind of steal the victory. I figured that Sam Ryder was going to give it up at some point. I just wasn't sure who was going to take it. I thought, like majority of people, we thought John Rahm was just going to come through there like he did the previous 2 days and take that third straight event there. But he faltered there, shot 4 over, I believe, there on Sunday. My guy Morikawa started out really hot and then lost a couple strokes midway through, but he finished strong and finished third, a few back. But it's always good to see my guy Morikawa battle back from that big heartbreaking loss there, losing the 7-shot lead to Rahm in his previous event. Bounce back strong here. So if he can just get that putter roll, and I'm looking forward to, I hope they keep Price and Morikawa up too, so that keeps his ownership under 10%.
Yeah, I mean, that you're going to love that all season long if that happens. Speaking of low ownership, Spencer Smith, I can't tilt AD even if he ends up busting tonight just because he's 5% owned. That's just it's a long season for me. One night, if one night impacts like how like I'm feeling, it tilts me, then I need to dial it back. That's just what you have to do. I'm going to take that leverage all the time, 5% AD in what I think is a good spot, and it's only halftime, so we can't tilt them yet. It's part of the game. Let's dive in, though. We got a lot to get to. Let's start with this 10K range. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. Let's go with one golfer that you like in the 10K range and then one guy you are fading.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look at Jordan Spieth up top. Great course history here. He was the first-round leader at the Sony, too, before he completely ejected there round 2 and missed a cut. If he can put together 4 good rounds, that's the big question here. But he's looking for his 4th straight top 10 at this event. So I think Jordan Spieth's the guy I'm going to be looking at. And the guy I'm going to be fading here is the guy right below him. It seems like I'm seeing on a few different ownership projections that Victor Hovland is going to be the highest owned guy in this range. Maybe at around 25%. Maybe he creeps up to 30% as the days go on. So that'll be something I'll keep an eye on. But Hovland, I just feel kind of shaky about his around the green play here. If he approaches like 30% ownership, I think that's just going to be an easy fade for me here, as I like some of the guys below him. And then I would just look to get more overweight on Spieth there up top. But I get to play with Hovland for sure, but I just think I'll be off of him as his around the green game really scares me here with these very small greens.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull up the salaries, you're going to immediately say, what is going on here? Because you got Hoagie, 10K, Fitzpatrick, 10-1, Hovland, 10-3, then Spieth, 10-6. So slim pickings up top. But again, like we said, kind of the last bad event. After this, it gets a lot better. And I mean, we're getting right into it. And so it's such a great time to get into PGA DFS, which I think is one of the best. So like NBA is my favorite, obviously, just in the street, in the trenches every day battling. Just I love the analytics, the predictability from it. And but PGA, I think, is just the best overall value. 4 days potentially, like you're always in it. You got showdown each and every day. So PGA, I think, is like the best overall sweat from like having fun in playing standpoint. Locks, 10K and up range, one golfer you're on and one fade.
Yeah, looking at this range up here, I'm in lockstep on this one with Snyder. I definitely like Jordan Spieth up here. I mean, he always plays well in this event, it seems, and he hasn't been playing horrible lately. Yeah, we've seen him miscut his last time out, but I'm okay with that. He's going to be probably the third lowest owned, I think, in this range, so I'm definitely going there. My fade here is actually going to be Fitzpatrick. Yeah, he looked decent last year in this event, but before that, not too comfortable here. I don't know. I don't like a 10-1 Fitzpatrick this week. I'm probably going to fade him based off of some ownership up there.
Yeah, I'm probably on the Fitzpatrick fade for you, and you could almost make the argument to fade the entire range just for like pure leverage. If I had to play anyone, I do think it would be Jordan Spieth just because we like him at Pebble. Obviously, the history here is phenomenal. Second, T3, T9 over the last 3 years since 2020. So, I mean, he checks a lot of boxes when you're looking at course history. Good around the green, obviously good birdie maker. An event that, yeah, I mean, if I had to lock anyone in this range and then fade everyone else, I would lock in Spieth and fade everyone else. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the 9K range locks. I'm going to keep it with you. Let's open it up a little bit. 2 or 3 golfers that you like in one fade in the 9K range.
Yeah, 9K range. Looking at this right off the bat, the guy that pops out to me right at 9K actually is Joel Damon. A lot of interest in him this week. I love this guy. He's a character in a pro-am. You know he's going to have a little bit of fun too. So I definitely like playing him in this type of environment. He's been playing well. Hasn't played in a little while, but I'd say he's probably my favorite here. Maverick McNeely is the other one I'm pretty high on. He's going to be higher owned, but I'm okay with that. He has potential to win here, I think. So definitely some interest in him. And then another guy that's coming in a little bit low owned is Matt Kuchar, 9,400. I got a little bit of interest in him. I don't know why. He's a people guy. It's a pro-am. I just think good vibes for him. He's been striking the ball pretty well lately. Going to be under 10% owned. So definitely some interest there too. If I'm looking at what's up?
No, keep going. Keep going. Never mind. I almost interrupted you.
Sorry.
You're good.
My fade in this range is simple. Justin Rose. I just think he's dusted up. Don't like him. I'm not paying 9,500 for him, so he's probably my fade in this range.
Was that not you? No, I'm thinking of some. You were on Jason Day. Yeah, two different guys. Jason Day has been looking good too. So yeah, I'm with you there. Snyder, kick it over to you. 9K range. A couple golfers that you like and one fade.
Yeah, I really like Andrew Putnam up here. I think he's going to go under owned here. I think he's going to be under 10%. The price tag is going to shock a lot of people, I think, here. Kind of glad they priced him up here. He finished 6th here last year, entered with some strong form too, 36 at the Amex and 4th at the Sony. Super consistent guy. I think he can play these shorter courses very well. So I'm going to be on Mr. Putnam heavy this week, so I really like him. And then I've got to go back to my guy, Mav here. I mean, very familiar setup for him. He's a West Coast guy, plays these West Coast tracks very, very well. Owns a pair of T5s in 2 of his last 3 starts here too, so enters with solid form. I like my guy Matt McNeely to maybe contend for his first ever win here. So I like Mav quite a bit, and then I'm right there with locks with the Justin Rose fade. I did play him a little bit last week, but he was priced much cheaper. I mean, I just can't justify paying $9.5K for Justin Rose in this event. I think he could probably finish maybe 20th to 25th or somewhere around that range, but that's definitely not going to get us to the winner's circle there for that price tag. So I'm off of the Justin Rose play this week.
Looking at it more, I really like this idea of fading the 10K range, starting with Putnam, Seamus Power, or McNeely. I think that's perfectly fine. Like that you could do. I also agree with the Justin Rose fade. And then, I mean, Joel Damon, I mean, you're talking T5, T9, T3, T16, his last 4 events. This guy's hot right now, and he has good history here. T6 last year, T14 in 2020. Joel Damon. Sign me up for Joel Damon in this range, and then I'm going to link up with you guys. Love Mav. Like, you could start your build with Mav McNeely, Joel Damon, and, I mean, fade all the 10K guys. And you're getting leverage already because naturally roster construction wise and just the name value, people are going to want to go to Fitzpatrick, Hovland, Spieth as an anchor for their build. I could see maybe Hogue just like falling kind of in a random range, not being that popular. I mean, really to be determined. Or you could see ownership spread out at the top range. So I'm really liking that idea of just fading them, starting with Mav, going Damon, and then, you know, maybe mix and matching. I like the Kuchar call. I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to agree with you guys on Justin Rose. Now, I'm not a Rose guy. The crazy thing with him is he used to be such a good iron player, like one of the best iron players on tour. It's been his putter that's like been keeping him competitive. And if he's not dropping those big putts, he's he's been absolute dust. So I love the Rose fade. I'm on that with you guys. Damon, McNeely, and Kuchar.
Killer Keith has some upside too at 9-1. That wouldn't surprise me if we saw like 3 of those 9K guys on the optimal. I mean, they all have super high upside, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. I like that kind of build of starting with like 3 9K guys.
Yeah, Keith owes me too. I played him at the Sony and let me down, obviously, but he bounced back at the Amex T22. I could see him. Yeah, he's definitely in play too. So I'm pretty locked in on that. I like the 10K fade and playing these guys. But Snyder, let's keep it with you, man. Let's keep this rolling. Let's get to the 8K range. Again, 3 or 4 golfers that you like in one fade.
Yeah, there's some guys here. Ben Griffin, he continues to display strong golf. I've been on him. Going to continue to keep rostering him here, so definitely going to be on him. I think the ownership should hold like right around 10 to 15%, so it's going to be super easy to get overweight on him as the price tag has come up. But he's just been a strong ball striker through these 3 events to open up the year. The around the green game is a little bit worrisome for me, but he finally did gain strokes in that metric last week after 3 straight losing events there. So I like Ben Griffin in the 8K range. And then my guy, Taylor Moore, he was a Corn Ferry guy. I was on often last year. I'm going to jump back on him last weekend for a while. And then he finished 11th there. So it was a really strong outing from Mr. Moore last week. He gained over 7 strokes total here last year, gaining across the board. The 8-3 tag should kind of keep his ownership around 10%, I think, as well. So I like Taylor Moore here. And then I've got to go to Hoops guy here, Nick Taylor. He's at 8K flat. Got to mention him here. He's a previous winner here back in 2020. Solid course history outside of that as well, as he finished inside the top 15 last year as well, and 7th at the Sony a few weeks back. So I like Nick Taylor here as well. And I'm going to be fading Taylor Pendrith in this range. I think that price tag is just kind of out of control for him. The ball striking numbers have been bad for him through his first 2 starts this year, and I just would rather play the guys underneath of him. So I'm going to be off of Taylor Pendrith.
I mean, man, if Brooks Koepka pulls up this field, he's just got to be laughing right now and making fun of the PGA Tour because this is dusty. But I'm with you, man. Taylor Moore, that's your guy. You've talked about him a lot. T11 at the Farmers, T16 here last year. Not like a guy. So when I look at the stats and different metrics that I look at for this course, I don't think he's going to be a guy that pops either. So it should keep ownership down. I like that call on Taylor Moore. Locks, what about you in this 8K range? 3 to 4 golfers that you like and one fade.
Yeah, looking at this range, it is scary. I mean, you look at these guys priced up here and you're like, interesting. I mean, the field just looks weak as can be. But looking here right away, yeah, Nick Taylor catches my eye. 8K, I think he's very interesting. Always seems to play well here. Been playing decent lately, so I'd say he's probably my favorite in this range, along with Trey Mullinax. I think he's very interesting. He's played well the 3 times he's played this in the last 5 years. So definitely interesting there. The 2 cheapies in this range really is where I'm looking at. And then Ben Griffin is the other guy that I'd be going to. Just been playing solid golf lately. He hasn't played in this event yet, but I'm okay with that. I'm still okay going there. I don't think he's going to be too highly owned, but he's just been striking the ball really well. So interest there. I'm going to say 2 fades here are Pendrith and then Alex Smalley. Smalley's tag is up there. He missed the cut here last time he played here. I think I'm going to stay away from that ownership here and just try to go with those different guys that I mentioned.
Yeah, I like those calls quite a bit. I got to start with David Lipsky for me, 8.2K. I'm gonna go lean on the stats here in my model. He ranks 7th overall in my model, actually. So 8.2 feels like we're getting some value. And like, what is the model that I have? What am I value in this week? I really like I always like ball striking, but I want guys that are good on approach. I want guys that are creating opportunities for birdies. And I want birdie makers, and I want around the green game because small greens here on these tracks, you need guys like Jordan Spieth. Why he's done so good here? He's a wizard around the greens. Lipsky actually grades out pretty decently in all of those categories. The putter, though, he's trending upwards, and then he took a step back. So I'm a little worried about the putter right now, but 8.2, I'm fine with him at that price point. Snyder, Taylor Moore, I like that call. I might have to hop on that call with you. And then the Ben Griffin, I like that call too. Well, all right, just a quick question for you guys. Here's another guy that's popping for me. Feel free, Snyder or Locks, to take this one. But Thomas Dietrich, 8.8K. Is this a guy that riding kind of a hot putter right now? Is this a guy that you have interest in? Snyder, start with you.
I think he's fine. Looking back at what he's done at the 2 events to start the year, the approach really hasn't been there. Off the tee hasn't really been there either, but he's been getting it done with the short game. So, I mean, I think he's fine, but I don't know if that's someone that I'm going to put a whole bunch of emphasis on. He hasn't played this event last year.
It's tough too because it's like 9K, almost 9K for this guy. I mean, it's tough, but again, at an event like this, I do like to just throw out price if you can and focus more on the names and getting the right exposures in there. I mean, Locks though, I'm asking the question just because Dietrich, kind of pops in a few different metrics for me. Is this a guy that you like at all, or?
As far as Dietrich goes, I mean, this tournament, I just think 8,800 is a little too much for me, especially I'm seeing him probably like 12 to 15% ownership. And for me, I'd just rather play these cheaper guys in that range. He hasn't played this event before. I know that's not a huge issue, but I'd rather play the few guys that have shown some upside here that are going to be lower owned anyway. Yeah,
the other guy I was looking at is Eric Van Rooyen. Some people call him Eric Van Rooyen, your lineup, which has been the case. But 8K, he's a name. He's coming off a T6 finish at the Amex. So, I mean, I think we talked him up at that event too, if I remember correctly.
I did. You called me. You did. You called me out for Eric Van Rooyen in your lineup.
And then Locks owning me. Absolutely owning me. You absolutely love to see it. But 8K, I kind of like him there too. So I'm going to piggyback off of the play that Locks owned me with. And that's EVR. My fade in this range, I'm leaning Kisner, and I don't think he's going to get a lot of ownership, so it's not like that good of a fade. I like Kiz on different courses, man. Any course where distance isn't like link style courses. I mean, there's certain tracks where Kiz just pops. I don't think this is one of them. So Kiz is going to be my fade.
I like that fade, AP, because if you look at his course history too in this event, it hasn't been good either. So definitely
really? Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. But first off, let me find this. We got a couple things. So one, hit the like, hit the subscribe. It helps us out a lot over here. And then two, we got a couple codes. We got Snyder 15 and we got Locks 15. Either one is going to get you 15% off your membership over here at Run Pure Sports. Again, if you like the content, if you like the group that we have, if you like the winners that we provide, sign up. Use one of those codes. Helps us out a lot over here. If you can't do that, at least hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That also helps us out a lot. Let's keep it going. Locks, I'm going to keep it with you. I like this pace that we have going. I mean, I think these shows they're going to be longer when we get these events that are just really, really good. I think we all agree this event is kind of lower tier from some of the others, but still money to be won. And anytime there's money to be won, we're going to take that seriously and we're going to work to find the winners. I think the 7K range is really interesting. I think it's one where you got to get the pieces right. And if you do, that's going to be the ticket this week. But Locks, how do you feel about the 7K range, couple golfers that you're on, and a fade?
Yeah, looking here, I mean, there's a lot of guys I can see myself playing here. And just as you're talking about earlier, like fading the 10K range, if you do that, you play the 9K range. I don't like the 8K range a whole lot, so you could just stick in that 9 and 7K range and make your teams that way. Definitely an interesting way to kind of look at things here, because I can see right off the bat 4 or 5 guys that I see myself playing this week. To start out, Matthew Neesmith, I think he's going to come in under 10% owned. He hasn't been playing the best, missed the last 2 cuts, but here he's been playing well. I mean, 11th and 16th his last 2 times in this event. I think he must like the course, obviously, so I'm okay with riding that. Bo Hostler at 7,400 is another name that jumps out at me. He's played well here, 3rd place finish last year. And these are guys that are going to come in under 10% owned in this range. That's where I kind of want to be. A guy that's going to be higher owned is Will Gordon. I like him here. He's been playing super well. Last time here, 21st back in 2021. So some interest there as well. And then the last guy I'll mention is Scott Stallings. I think he's going to come in under 10% as well. So another guy super low owned. He can catch a hot putter. He can get hot for us and go super low. So I'd say those guys are who I'm leaning. If I'm looking for a fade, I don't really have one off the top of my head. Maybe Kurt Kitayama, just because he absolutely screwed me over last week. I'd say he's on my blacklist. I ain't playing him anymore, but it is what it is. I have a short memory, so I'm sure I'll play him again in another week. I just got a salty taste in my mouth.
Isn't that Kurt's boy, Kurt Kitayama?
I think so. Yeah.
His little. That's where he always does his little meow. Is that what he does?
Kurt Kitty never anymore.
Oh man, too good. Snyder, 7K range. I mean, a big range here. I like a lot of these guys. I don't think maybe a couple people will know who I'm on down here, but there's a few guys that I really like. But Snyder, 7K range, 3 or 4 golfers that you like, and then a fade that you feel good about.
Yeah, I really like this range a lot too. I want to try and finish out a lot of my builds here in this range. So we're gonna have all the plays listed on the playbook over on Run Pure Sports. If you join, that's for members only there. But I like Lanto Griffin here as my first guy I'm going to mention here. He played really good to start the year last year, and he has finished of 16th and 9th his last 2 trips here at this event. Played ball last week on that first event back from injury. He got injured last July, I believe, and took some time off. Came back last week, played pretty well for his first event back. Looked like he kind of knocked some of the rust off there. Finished 37th, and then he's coming right back to another event the next week. So he's got to be in great shape and great form. So I really like Lanto here. We played him a lot last year to start the season, and he did really well on this West Coast swing. So I like him. My guy Kevin Yu, I've been on him quite often throughout the fall and to the start of this year. 2 straight events. You has been great, tee to green, but it's lost strokes putting. This is common, I feel, with some of these young guns coming up off the Corn Ferry Tour. But if that putter can get to just maybe even break zero or break even, putt to a zero, I think he can definitely contend for at least another top 20 here. I believe he was 20th or 21st a couple events ago, so I really like my guy Kevin Yu. He was a soldier last week, made the cut. I expect him to do well again this week, so I like him. And then Scott Piercy is another guy like you. I think he'll be under 5% as well this week. He's been playing really good over his last two outings there. Lost nearly 3 strokes off the tee last week, but gained over 5 strokes approach and 2 putting. Has made 5 of his last 6 cuts here at this event, 3 top 20s in his last 5 trips here. And this is a kind of a shorter track. Some of these are, so I think Piercy may be able to kind of club down off the tee and not be having to depend on his driver as much here. So that should help his off the tee game. And then I'm going to be fading Kevin Streelman. It looks like he's going to see some ownership here just based off his course history, but he did miss the cut here last year. He's only finished inside the top 60 in 1 of his last 6 events too. So it looks like he's going to be one of the higher owned guys in this range. So that's going to be an easy cross off for me here in this range. So I'm going to be off Kevin Streelman in the 7K range.
Yeah, I like that. What's funny is, maybe you're reading my mind. We haven't talked or discussed any PGA this week at all, but there's a few course horses down here that I was looking at. I'm fading one, and you just named him, Streel Daddy, Kevin Streelman, who has been pretty terrible lately, and the course history is just naturally going to bump ownership up a little bit. The other guy who's not going to pop, he shouldn't pop at all, but it's Troy Merritt. His history here has been phenomenal. T4, T16, T25, T8. And he's just a random, he's a guy that it's fully you need the right track for him. You don't want a long course. You want just a ball striker, target golf type of track. And that's where he pops. And so he's not going to stats-wise, he can't look good at all. But I like him here. I think he's good. Just cut at the Amex T65, then a cut at the RSM. So people are going to look at that, not good at all, but a T3 at the Worldwide. So, the guy just randomly shows up. I think he randomly shows up here. I like him quite a bit. Scott Piercy, I had him circled as another guy that I'm on. He actually does pop, and his around the green game has been phenomenal right now. Just looking at that stat in general to this field, in relation to this field, and it's not a strong field at all, but he ranks second around the green in strokes gained around the green over his last 24 rounds. If he can continue that on, that just is such a big stat at an event like this. So I can definitely get on board with Scott Piercy. And then, so I'm going to give that one to you, Snyder. Nate Lashley, Nebraska guy, actually. But why are you shaking your head, Snyder? I don't like that.
I like
you don't
him,
like Nate Lashley?
He's a Nebraska boy. I like him.
Yeah, I thought you were saying you don't like him. I thought you were giving me. No, I saw this way, man. But no, Nate Lashley. So missed the cut at the Amex, but he looked good at the Sony. And then he has good history here. He finished T5 here in 2021. He's just another guy. I think he's a 2-time PGA Tour winner. I believe he has 2 wins. I could be wrong on that. I don't have that stat up, but I like him this week. I think this is a good event for him. Good iron player. He's always been a proximity guy, good on approach, but he can absolutely dial in his short irons and get the ball in there close to create some opportunities. For our guy, Big T, I got to go to this is a guy we both like, but it's Benny On. Benny On, just, man, this dude is creating so many opportunities. The thing he struggles with is always putting. But again, I'm leaning heavily on around the green play, and I'm comboing that with approach play, but then also just creating opportunities for birdies. He checks all of those boxes, and he's not going to be owned at all. I'm showing 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 4% ownership on him. So Benny On is a guy that I like. As far as my fade in this range, I think I'm going to steal Lox's fade. I think, what was it, Will Gordon? If he's going to be – anyone that's going to be double-digit ownership in this range, I'm going to highly consider fading just for leverage purposes. If Gordon is that guy, then he's going to be the guy that I fade. Let's keep it going. 6K range. Snyder, I'm just going to keep it right with you. Obviously a big range, but a couple golfers that you're on and a couple or then a fade down here.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling down here in this range. I don't see too many guys I like, so I'm going to be kind of leaning on you guys a little bit and also leaning on Hoop and Tambo tomorrow on the premium show here for these cheaper guys. But I do like Andrew Novak. He's got good upside for being sub 7K. He was 12th at the Sony, made the cut last week, but really kind of struggled with the ball striking there, which may be a little concerning, but I think he can bounce back pretty good. I like the upside Novak brings in a weaker event like this. I think he can contend for another top 15 finish here even. Austin Cook is another guy. Made the cut last year, finishing 42nd here. Off the tee game was terrible last week at Torrey Pines, but I think these courses are going to be much more suitable for his off the tee game, as he won't need to be needing that much distance off the tee here compared to what he did last week at Torrey Pines. So I think he'll be able to club down a little bit as well here, so I like him. The short game was dialed in last week, so I really like that with Austin Cook here. If he can find these greens, I think he can make a lot of putts here on these easier greens. I like Austin Cook down here. Another guy I maybe would look at down here would be like Peter Malnati. That's a guy I like to roster. He's got pretty good course history here too. He finished 11th here in 2020, 42nd last year. So I think he's an interesting guy. And I really don't have a fade here in this 6K range, as I'm really not seeing much ownership at all. Like there might be 2 or 3 guys that even hit. Like
I got one for you.
Range.
I got a guy you can fade. Is it Marcel Seam, Mr. Man Bun? I swear the name sounds like he has a freaking man bun. Chat, help me out. Marcel Seam, if he has I guarantee he has a man bun. If he has a man bun, we can fade him. Yeah, that's your fade. I'm going to take Lox's spot since he's gone right now. So it does get dusty down in this range. Not a lot of guys that I mean, it really does. But again, this is one of those weeks. Oh, there we go. There's some mojo.
It's a little lost.
It's fine to like open it up though and just take some shots on some random guys down here. So a few that I'm on. One is he's a journeyman. He's been around the block. I think this is Mangone's guy actually, but Ryan Moore, 6,600. It's just a name. He's got to be grinding to keep his tour card or something. And I always look at that as an event like this has to be an opportunity for a guy like that who at one point in time was really good at golf, good ball striker, always struggled putting. You got to if you're that guy, you got to look at an event like this and be like, man, this is an opportunity to rack up some points, some FedEx points. And I like leaning on those types at events like this. So Ryan Moore, I'm going to have in my pool. Another one is Soon You'll Know. This is another Kurt guy. I feel like I'm on a lot. This is this is definitely a Kurt week. I'm going to call it right now. Kurt, our boy Kurt, is shipping something this week. I feel very confident in that. I'm going to go with his boy. Soon You'll Know. He's been golfing good. 4 or 5 cuts made. Only missed a cut at the Amex. Pretty impressive. He had a T15 at the RSM Classic. His putter's on fire right now. So the one concern there would be if he doesn't bring the putter, then obviously he might not have a good round. The ball striking's been somewhat average, but the around the green play, that one stat that I'm looking at, has been good. And then another guy, this is an RPS hero. Actually, this is a hoop hero from last season. That's Mr. Peter Malnati, a guy I'm going to. 3 of 5 cuts here over the last 5 times he's played since 2018. T42, T11, T35 when he's made the cut. And come off a T20. Before that, he was trash. He'd missed a ton of cuts. Hasn't been good at all. But I like Peter Malnati here. I love the Andrew Novak call. This has been a guy that randomly will pop. He'll be tilting as well, but I think he has upside. And then my fade is Mr. Man Bun. So locking Man Bun in as my fade. Locks, kick it over to you. 6K range, couple golfers that you're on, and a fade.
Yeah, I definitely agree with a bunch of your guys' calls down here. I like the Ryan Moore shout out. I think he's definitely interesting down here, along with Peter Malnati. So those two guys I'll definitely be on as well. A couple guys that I like that you guys didn't mention are Austin Smotherman at 6,700. He's very interesting to me. I liked him a couple tournaments ago. He played well, and then after the cut, just kind of dozed off a little bit. But last year here, 33rd, so something to build on. I mean, $6,700. He has potential to finish up there for us. So I got some interest there. Tyson Alexander has been a guy we've mentioned earlier this year. I know Snyder's kind of been on him a little bit, so a little bit of interest there as well. And then one of the other guys I wanted to mention up in this range here that I'm going to be off of is Brian Gay. We talked about course history. A lot of people are going to be looking at him at $6,500 because, I mean, 34th, 38th, 7th, and 8th the 4 years before last year. And a lot of people are going to go there. He's probably going to be one of my fades down here. I think a lot of people are going to go there, and he's been horrible. Tee to green, off the tee, everywhere. Just been playing horrible. So he's probably going to be my one for sure fade out of this range. I'll play the couple of guys I mentioned, the couple of guys you guys mentioned, and then what do you guys think about our boy Goya from last week? You guys got any interest there?
Snyder, I'll lean on you.
I think he's fine. I don't know if I'll go right back to him or not. He had a couple good rounds, but then he kind of came back to reality there. I think he's fine for tournaments, though.
Like this is a week where I love the idea. So in that $5 where I can spend $25K up top. Eventually it'll be $50K. I love the idea of just like getting very heavy on a core. I'm talking like 70%, 3 or 4 guys, and then just really opening up the pool down here and going like usually I have 28 to 39 under 40 golfers in my pool, 150. But with a strategy like that, if I'm like 70%, 3 or 4 golfers, I'll open up the pool and I'll get 50 in there, and I'll just get, I'll set a minimum of like 3 or 4%, a range of like 3 or 4% to like 9%, 8 or 9%, and I'll just like have go in there. I'll have these random guys in there, and then I'll set the Saber Sim setting to the max and just have fun with it. A strategy that I really like, but I got to feel very confident about the 3 or 4 golfers that I'm very overweight on. If you do that, and if your core hits, it's kind of how your path to hitting the nuts there. So a strategy in fields like this that I really like to deploy. Let's get to our winners and then final thoughts, and then we'll be out of here. We're just going to do one winner each. You only get one this time. We'll go back to our 2 next week. But Snyder, I'm going to start with you. Who's winning this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Andrew Putnam here at 25-1 odds. I think he's a guy that can break through for a win here. 6th his last trip here, 4th at the Sony. I think he's a guy that can break through for a win here in this kind of watered down event. So I like Andrew Putnam at 25-1.
I love that call. Locks, who do you got winning this week?
I'm going to go with my guy Maverick McNeely at 9,600. He's gotten close here a couple times. He's been playing well. Seems to fit this course well. So I think Mav McNeely is going to be my pick to win it this week.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. You know what I'm going to do? And I didn't mention him, but he was a former workbench play recently. I think it was at the Amex. And I'm going to go Ben Griffin as the winner. This was a thing last year. These workbench plays, the following week or the week after, they were printers, absolute printers. I'm going to lock in on that strategy early this season. I'm going to go Ben Griffin 3rd. And I mean, again, he has no history here, so there's some risk in that, but I like him. He's checking a lot of boxes for me. So Snyder, final thoughts this week.
Yeah, looking forward to this last kind of gimmicky type event, and then next week we get into the one of the best events of the year there at the Waste Management. It's going to be an elevated event too. We're going to see some big names next week, so I'm looking really forward to that. But first, we got some business to attend to here. We're going to nail down this Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We're going to have some really good advantages in Showdown too. So we're going to have the Showdown content for premium only. For the Showdown playbook and cores will be premium only. And then the 2 shows, round 1 and round 2 will be over on, or round 2 and round 3 will be over on the Mail Media Network. And then the final round show will be on the Rumpier Sports Network there. So looking forward to that. I think we're going to have a pretty big edge Showdown wise and I'm looking forward to attacking this main slate as well.
You bring up such a good point. One thing I do usually on Wednesdays, was it last week? I got thrown off because it was a day early it was last week, a day earlier. So it threw me off. But like, I think Wednesdays I plan out what my strategy is going to be, like what contests I'm entering in. And I look at Showdown and the main slate. This is one of those weeks where you could make the argument that there's more value in focusing on Showdown than the main 4-game slate. And just really like, so how do I attack that then? I always do the 2-2-2 or 200 single entry. And then I sprinkle, I'll have one main build for 4 for the main slate 4-round contest. And then I'll focus on Showdown. When you have an edge like this, where you're at different events, you're going to get most of the field now is sharp and they're going to know what golfers to play, but not all like everyone. There's still going to be an edge there, whether it's 15 or 20% or 25% dead money in there. I mean, it's such a value. So that's something that I'm considering as far as like final thoughts and strategy goes for this week. But again, I do think it's a good MME week as well. Locks, final thoughts for this week.
Yeah, just final thoughts here. Obviously, the last few weeks we've had late starts, so I would just say, obviously, if you're going to wake up, you can't wake up and change some things around. So wake up early. Wake up super early and check for withdrawals and stuff. That's all I really got to say, because, man, does it suck when you wake up a few hours after lock and you got a guy that WD'd, you had no idea. So just really that, pay attention. We got an early start finally. So that's really all I got.
Such a good point. And again, that's why you got to be a member. I'm telling you, Tambo's going to be in there. He's going to be searching. He's the best at it. He's best at searching Twitter, finding whatever news you can. And Tambo is awesome at that. And speaking of him, Tambo, Hoop are going to be on the premium show tomorrow, breaking this event down. So if you're a member, make sure to tune in tomorrow. And if you're not a member, we got 2 codes, like we've said through this show. We got Snyder 15, Locks 15 for 15% off your payment over here at Run Pure Sports. With that, we're going to leave you at that. Appreciate all of you watching this show, the content. Get in Discord. All the winners will be in there. All the PGA content, the playbook that Snyder does, the heat map, our core plays, and everything. With that, I'm AP. That's Snyder, Locks, Snyder. Get us out of here.